Did you know you can spend the night in a giant boot, an airplane, or even an authentic teepee, all without ever leaving the heart of Texas? No, I'm not pulling your leg. Texas is home to some of the most jaw-dropping, unique Airbnbs in the whole country. And today we're taking a virtual road trip to explore the wildest ones you can actually stay in. Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Lone Star Plate, where we round up all things Texas. The people, the food, and the places that make our state bigger and bolder than anywhere else. Today, we're talking about Texas-sized adventure, the quirkiest, weirdest, most unforgettable overnight stays you can find on Airbnb right here in the Lone Star State. If you've ever wanted to sleep in a tiny home shaped like a cowboy boot or wake up surrounded by giraffes, you're in for a treat. So stick around because you'll want to add these spots to your bucket list. All right, let's kick off our adventure with something that'll make your boot scoot. Have you ever wanted to stay inside a giant wooden cowboy boot? Out in Huntsville, Texas, you'll find the world-famous Cowboy Boot House, designed and built by artist Dan Phillips. This isn't just some novelty. The place is crafted with recycled materials, overflowing with Texas character from heel to toe, and even has a cozy reading nook in the toe of the boot. At night, the boot glows with twinkle lights, and you'll lay your head where most folks only dream of putting their feet. Only in Texas, am I right? But maybe you're more of a high flyer. Folks, there's an Airbnb in Spicewood where you can sleep in a converted 1964 Boeing 707 jet perched smack dab in the treetops. That's right. The airplane suite puts you 20 feet above ground, surrounded by hill country beauty. The cockpit gives you panoramic sunset views you won't believe, and the cabin's filled with plush beds and vintage aviation decor. Where else but Texas could you camp out in first-class style, drinking in the stars from your own airplane wing? Now, let's mosey on down to Terlingua. You want off-grid? We got off-grid. This mining town on the border of Big Bend National Park offers a bubble hotel, a clear, inflatable dome where you can sleep under the purest, darkest skies in Texas. At night, the Milky Way blazes right above your head, and there are no city lights for 100 miles to spoil the show. You've never known quiet like this, and for stargazing Texans, it just doesn't get better. Let's talk about history next. In Fredericksburg, you'll find a meticulously restored 120-year-old German grain silo turned into a luxury Airbnb. Outside, it's all rusty charm. Inside, it's straight-up Texas Hill country chic with all the comforts you need. You're surrounded by wildflowers, wineries, and that rich German heritage Fredericksburg's known for. It's as unique as Texas hospitality gets, folks. Y'all ever want to reconnect with the cowboy life, but maybe with a little less dust? Near Bandera, the Silver Spur Guest Ranch lets you stay in a real covered wagon. Think Oregon Trail, but with air conditioning and Wi-Fi. At night, the stars look close enough to grab. During the day, you can saddle up and ride the range or just kick back by the campfire telling tall tales. But we're not done yet. Over in Wimberley, you can stay in an actual treehouse perched above the cypress trees with a swinging rope bridge and all. They call it the Loft Haven, and it's downright magical. The whole place wraps around a giant cypress tree, so you wake up to birds singing, sunlight peeking through the leaves, and the kind of peace you just can't get in a hotel. For anyone who grew up dreaming of living in a treehouse or just wants to relive some childhood wonder, this one's hard to beat. Now, we all know Texans like to do things big, but how about spending the night in something tiny? In Marfa, there's a collection of funky, ultra-modern tiny houses and Airstream trailers sitting under the endless West Texas sky. By day, it's all about exploring Marfa's artsy downtown or chasing the famous Marfa lights. At night, string lights twinkle like stars above your little home on the range. Get this, in Bastrop, you can book a stay in a luxury safari tent at a wildlife ranch and watch zebras and camels wander through the fields. Some evenings, you'll even hear the lions roar. The Texas Hill Country may not be the Serengeti, but it'll sure make you feel like you're about to head out on safari. For something truly Texan, there's also the authentic teepee stays near Terlingua and Fredericksburg. These aren't your old-school campouts. Inside, you'll find plush king beds, old Western decor, and all the comforts folks want after a day out hiking or riding. Plus, there's something special about watching the sunset across the desert from the mouth of your own teepee, surrounded by cacti and big sky. All right, I gotta throw in one more. The Seashell House in Port Aransas. Built to look just like, you guessed it, a giant seashell washed up on the Texas coast. Inside, every room is curved and glowing, made with seashells and sand art, the kind of spot most folks would expect to find in a storybook, not along the Gulf. But that's Texas for you, always full of surprises. What ties all these places together ain't just quirkiness, it's the Texas spirit. Whether you want adventure or peace, a taste of the Old West or something futuristic, Texas has a place to hang your hat. So next time you're itching for a getaway, skip the boring hotels and try something unforgettable right here in our own backyard. Now, before you start planning your next weekend trip, let me know in the comments, which of these crazy Airbnbs would you want to book first and why? Or maybe you've stayed at a Texas Airbnb that knocked your boots off. Share your story below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Texas tales, and tap the bell so you don't miss out on the next great Lone Star secret. Whether you're a city slicker, a ranch hand, or somewhere in between, there's an unusual Texas Airbnb just waiting for you. So pack your boots, bring your sense of adventure, and remember, only in Texas do we dream this big and sleep this wild. Stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll see y'all next time on the Lone Star Plate. Yee-haw.